thank the gentleman. Mr. Timmons from South Carolina is recognized for 5 minutes for questioning.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I want to focus on the potential of your data being used for bioweapons. You have the second largest collection of DNA behind Ancestry DNA, is that correct?
That is correct.
So the internet says 25 million is what Ancestry DNA has. You're at, what, 14, 15 million?
That is correct.
And you agree that there is the potential that a rogue actor or a evil nation state could use the genetic data that you or Ancestry DNA has gathered to then create a targeted bioweapon that would target people of certain geographic locations, ethnicity. You could even do eye color. Is that scientifically possible? Would you agree? You're not a scientist, but
Congressman, I'm not a scientist, but I understand.
Well, the research is abound for really the last 2 decades. It shows that should a nation state or a well-funded rogue actor be willing to engage in such atrocities, they could do that. And realistically, in order for that to be effective, they would need a very large amount of data from all over the planet. As you consider how this bankruptcy is going to be resolved, is that front of mind, or are you going to make sure that the vast amount of data that you have is not going to fall into the hands of a evil actor? Is that fair?
That is fair. First, let me say that as part of the bankruptcy process, the Special Committee of 23andMe has committed to ensuring that under no circumstances will we sell this data to any foreign adversary, including any enterprise or controlled by China, Russia, Iran, Venezuela, North Korea, or any foreign adversaries to the United States. Second, we have 2 final bidders in the auction process for 23andMe. Both of those, TTAM Research Institute and Regeneron, are American enterprises. Regeneron, an American pharmaceutical company, it's a public company with $55 billion in market cap.
Thank you for that. That's helpful. Before I go to Ms. Wojcicki, I want to point out that while every individual technically owns their data that you have, it is comical to think that that ownership is real, because the likelihood of even 1% of the individuals who have used your service asking you to delete their data is virtually 0. So, I mean, while we all agree that, I actually did 23andMe. So, I mean, while I do own my data and I could probably log in and try to figure out how to delete it, I'm not going to do that. And nobody else that has used your business is going to. Ms. Wojcicki, when you were CEO, did you or your board ever consider the national security implications of selling, licensing, or sharing genetic data with research institutions abroad, including those in China?
We talked about things like that extensively.
And did any foreign actor attempt to purchase any data or for research purposes or other?
No.
So Wuxi Healthcare Ventures was an investor. They have direct ties to the CCP and the PLA. Is that, I mean, they were just, we'll give you money, but we want to hear about what you're doing, but we don't need anything from that. Is that fair?
It was $150 million that we raised in that round. They were a $10 million investor. They had no board seat, no access.
And your investors
to
have no access to any information?
No access to information.
But they get, I would imagine, investor updates that shows progress?
I don't have access to my records. I don't believe that they were a large enough
Is it
investor
fair to
get
say
it.
that Ancestry DNA has continued to be successful versus 23andMe, largely because they stayed focused on giving customers their ancestry history, as opposed to 23andMe was kind of trying to engage in secondary lines of effort, genetic testing to kind of help people understand potential health issues they could have? Is that where things might have gone wrong, or?
Ancestry.com actually has a very expensive monthly subscription to be able to look at old historical records, versus 23andMe has really been about the acceleration of knowledge around human genetics for the benefit of all of us to be healthier.
So they were successful where y'all have clearly failed because they just stayed true to the main business model and y'all expanded? Is that fair?
I would say our mission since the beginning was to help people access, understand, and benefit from the human genome. And that benefit has always been about the benefit of human health and that understanding. So the two companies are incredibly different.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm out of time. I yield back.